back in the building. Shout out to everybody out there in the United States of America Incorporated. I'm your boy Warren G, the place to be. Been clowning sucker free since 2003. You cannot finesse me. Shout out to everybody out there. David from No Compromise, my brother. James Youngblood, Tasha, Shawnee, Erica, all y'all out there. Mariah, you already know what it is, man. Man, I got a great topic, man. It's gonna be a quick one and a good one, man, but I love it. I love it. Man, we're gonna get it in today. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Court Plantation, and then we're also gonna have a discussion about anti-black racism of all ages. Okay? So let's get into it right now. Hey. Let's get it. Man, shout out to everybody out there, man, at the Court Plantation, man. If you're doing what you need to do to survive, you know me, man, I fuck with you. Man, I was looking at this old white man that was in, where is this at? Oh, man, where is this at? Chickamauga, New York. And these people was at this, these black people was at this grocery store, I think, and this white man just went on this rant about kill all niggas. And see, motherfuckers be thinking because it's old people that these are your politicians, these are your congressmen, your aldermen, these are your state legislatures. These are all the people that are in positions of power. And we think because they're elderly, that they're not a threat. These are the people that are making your lawmakers. These are everyday people that shop and smile with you and act like everything is all good. But in actuality, they want to kill all niggas. And I'm trying to find the audio. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on. This one white man caught it on his thing. So I'm going to pause it because I want to play it real quick because I just want y'all to hear it, man. I just want y'all to hear what happened. Let me tell you what happened. They were in the, I guess, a shopping parking lot, and his car or something ran into somebody's car. So they like, hey, man, or he backed into somebody's car. They're like, hey, man, we need your car insurance, bro. You just hit our car. Fuck you, niggas. Kill all niggas, that type. That's how it started. But here, let's play this and see what the man say.
Chickamauga, New York, you're up.
What did you call me again? If you so bad,
You are a
video.
fucking
Okay.
You're not even fucking animal.
There you go. So you're an example of what they mean ignorant. Clear example of what
Kill all.
You see what he said? Kill all fucking niggers. Kill all fucking niggers. You're not even an animal. That's how they feel. And that's how a lot of other racial groups feel.
If you so bold, say your name. Say your name, sir. You so bold.
I'm sure if you're familiar with Chickamauga.
Wow. And that's what I wanted to play. I just wanted to play that. Let's have a little quick conversation about it. Let's have a conversation about it. Let's have an honest conversation about it. Here are my thoughts on it. We are so worried about shit that don't matter. And while you're worried about shit that don't matter, the dominant society is like, fuck these dumbass niggas. Once you start to have and possess intrinsic value in who you are, you're not worried about what the fuck any other racial group is doing as far as not replacing the system of racism and white supremacy and establishing the system of justice. You're not worried about that. But I feel like the majority of the times, we're worried about how this nigga get this money. Who's that nigga on that nab? How you get that horse, nigga? That's what we're worried about. We're not worried about replacing the system. That's why I was, shout out to James Youngblood, man. And I do agree. I've always felt that way. I've always felt that way. You know, even with Dr. Umar Johnson, like, hey, you want to stay black, whatever. But I've always felt, too, this is just me. I've always felt, too, like, man, do what you want to do. And look, just be on code when it comes time to be on code with us. I'm not finna police everybody's situation. And I had gave him a quote that this lady named Special K, I used to work with her at Silver Mesa 20 years ago. 20 years ago this year, I used to work with her. And I remember niggas used to, you know, somebody, I was in this production crew, and at the time, it was an all-black production crew. And they would be like, oh, man, you should do that. How you going to do that to your sisters and all that? And I was like, I'm not doing anything to my sisters. I love my sisters. I date whoever date me. But if they on my program, and, you know, I felt like at the time, and I always felt this way. I was like, man, whoever fuck with me, but you have to fuck with me and my philosophy, too. You can't just fuck with me because I'm black on some black shit, and then on my philosophy or about being on code, and then you don't fuck with that shit, right? So they, you know, of course, they used to joke and fuck with me. Oh, you know, oh, how could you do that to our sisters and all this other shit, right? So one of my coworkers, Special K, when they left, she was like, Warren, let me tell you something. And I was like, men that are worried about another man's relationship and not what that man does for his community, they have to wake up. And I didn't get it at first. I was like, what you mean? She was just like, she told me, she was like, I've seen a lot of brothers and they date sisters and they pro-black, but they do nothing for the community. And I was like, well, what do you mean do nothing for the community? She was just like, they just don't support their own community. Once they make it out, they don't give a fuck about other black folk and their struggle and what's going on, and they don't care to stop and open the door for the next brother to get another brother an opportunity. And then she started breaking down job opportunities. I didn't say it all on the comment thing, James Youngblood, but this is how the conversation started. She was like, okay, let's just look at the job opportunities. And we were talking about North Las Vegas and the city of Las Vegas, all that. She was just like, how many black folk encourage other black folk to get city jobs, encourage them to get trades and all that. Like, she was breaking it down. I was young-minded. So a lot of it flew over my head in the beginning. And she was like, no, this is no diss against you, Warren, but y'all need to refocus what y'all talking about. She was like, because she was like, yeah, I get it. She was like, and you right, because I'm a black woman. And, we should be at the top of the food chain as far as who brothers date. She was like, but, okay, you don't want to date that. What are you doing for your community? Are you getting people jobs? Are you in a position where you can help other people out? She started like breaking it down, and I kind of understood it. And she was just like, they just giving you a hard time. A lot of the times is because she said, she was like, a lot of motherfuckers just like to give you a hard time, just to give you a hard time. Some people want to give you a hard time because they're afraid to say what you're saying. Because I didn't give a fuck. I don't care. I've always been my own person. I don't give a fuck. Niggas used to say that shit to me all the time. And I told Special K, because we used to have this conversation all the time. I said, look, Special K, I'm from LA. And when I grew up in LA, all I saw was black people. That was it. Then when I moved to West Covina, Baldwin Park, it was a lot of Mexicans and other stuff. That's fine. And then when I came to Vegas, it was a different change for me because I'm so used to everywhere you go, everything is black. She was like, exactly. She was like, but within that change, have you changed who you are and what your principles are? And I didn't know what principles were at the time. I just was like, well, no, I feel like whoever's around me and up under me, if they on that racist shit, I'm gonna pick it up right away. She was like, okay, are you gonna let it slide? Because you like, she was breaking it down. I was like, man, you right. She was like, you have to remain who you are, and you have to know where you're going, and you have to understand. She was like, racist people ain't just people that's calling you nigga, Warren. And, racist people are the people that we work around that smile at us every day and tell us we do a good job at work. Very, very good. She gave out a lot of good advice. And she had a lot. And she just was like, I think they just, your homies just give you a hard time because sometimes people are afraid to say what you're saying. Because I was like, man, I ain't on no coon shit. I'm just saying whoever is around me, if I fuck with them and they around me, and people around gonna know, like, okay, they with the business, because Warren don't have no fuck motherfuckers around him. And I was like, that's all I was trying to say. And she was just like, no, I understand that. She was like, because you have to go deeper with those type of conversations as far as what y'all talking about. She was like, because Warren, you could date a sister, and then you could be the most treacherous motherfucker at these jobs. And I was like, what you mean, Special K? She was like, you could get in there with the white people and be smiling with them and fuck niggas and don't care because you getting the money. She was like, I've seen it all, Warren. So you got to remain who you are. And that's why I bring up this subject today, the subject matter, because that old man was like, kill all niggas, kill old, young, middle, even your friends at work. Don't put it past nobody that they don't have that type of mentality unless you around them and they up under you all the fucking time. And even if they are on that mentality, what are you going to do to replace that system? A lot of us, we get heartbroken when our friends are, co-workers or whatever, have that nigga, like, fuck them niggas mentality. You're better than the rest of those niggas. And we feel defeated and all that. What are you going to do to change the system? How are you changing? Are you recycling your black dollars? Are you doing what Neely Fuller teaches about the four-wall effect? That's why me and my siblings, we went to that black bookstore, because I made a conscious effort and a concerted effort to tell my siblings, like, look, let's go do something different. You know, we can always get together and have a drink and do whatever we do and talk shit about white supremacy and complain about it. But what are we going to do to change the system? And like I said, look, James Youngblood, man, hey, I've been like that. I've been like that, and I've been like agreeing with Dr. Umar, like, no, like that sister, and this was an older sister that told me that. She was like, look, Warren, your preference should be us. That should be your preference. She was like, but if you just happen not to meet nobody that's like that, and you're accepting of all the shit that's gonna come your way, then you do that. She was like, you do that. But she told me, she was like, I give you props because, you know, they was going in on you and you didn't give a fuck. You always had a counter. You already had a counter response, because they'd be like, how can you do that to your sisters? And I remember I said, do what? What am I doing? Oh, how could you date outside your race? This was 2003, yeah. And I said, what do you mean? Like, explain it to me. Give it to me. Like, what do you mean? Like, explain it to me in detail. They was like, well, you know, you got all these sisters around here. And I was like, have y'all seen me approach sisters? Have y'all seen me you know, where even if we don't date, we become friends, like family? Have y'all seen how I interact with my sisters on the job? Shout out to Nuke. Nuke knows this. Nuke has known me the whole time I've been at these core plantations. And I said, have y'all seen that? And, you know, Special K, she listening. So she kind of grinning. I said, y'all don't know how I interact with our sisters at these jobs. And they was like, yeah, but man, you should be trying to date them. I said, first of all, when we're at the core plantation, you know, you need to have I say we need to all have the understanding of you're there to get a paycheck. You're not there to find a wife. You're there to get a paycheck. And you are there to make sure that you're on code with your people when it's time to be on code. Not to be there, trying to have relations and fuck on all the black sisters at the job. I don't do that. I'm trying to build a friendship and build like a family, because we don't have a family mentality at the time. This is what I'm saying. I was like, we don't have a family mentality at these jobs. We too busy telling on each other and doing all kinds of bullshit. And Special K was laughing and she was just listening. And I said, I'll never forget. I said, look, man, while y'all out here grilling me about it, how y'all conduct yourself at these jobs around sisters? Are y'all trying to use them so y'all can fuck on them? Or y'all trying to build a family type of relationship with them? And if something does transpire, it transpires. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh, well, nah, man, we talk about y'all. I was like, no, let's talk about y'all niggas. Because at least I'm out here saying I'll date whoever date me. What are y'all niggas saying? And them niggas can answer. And one of the niggas that was going in on me got a baby by a sister outside of his race. And that's what I thought was funny. And that's why Special K was like, Warren, you just wasn't afraid to say it. And it doesn't take away from what Dr. Umar Johnson's belief system is, because, hey, I give him props. He's right. But as I got older, I used to always tell motherfuckers, they'd be like, I remember I worked at Doolittle, they'd be like, oh, this motherfucker be dating Asians, all kinds of shit. I said, but y'all niggas ain't gonna tell me that I ain't black. And y'all niggas ain't gonna tell me that I don't love my people. And y'all niggas ain't gonna tell me that I'm not well immersed in black culture. Nigga, y'all act like I'm out here sandboing. Bob, that ain't never been me. So people that come around me and they see the situation, they like, yeah, it's like, I know niggas, they did outside their race. You go to their spot, they do like, what's his name? The nigga that started Def Jam. Well, Kimora Lee Simmons, he had all kinds of Asian artifacts in his house. He had no black artifacts in there, but he had all kinds of Asian shit. I was like, that is not me. I was like, but that's always been me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And you can't change a person's belief system. You can give them a piece of your belief system. And I used to always say, but what are we going to do when we do go get on these jobs, and how do we act? And I remember they was like, oh man, you know, it ain't just about the job. I said, well, yeah, the job pays us to do what we do that is called living. So if a job is paying us, you know what I'm saying, so we can have a living for ourselves and take our sisters out, then I don't think we should be on the job just necessarily fucking all the women at the job. I've always been that way. I ain't, you know what I mean? And the conversation, you know, went on and on and on. And then after that, that's when, you know, me and Special K would always have conversations about it. And she would always give me props and be like, you know, one time she had to kind of referee it and was like, look, he ain't saying he just going out looking for other racial groups. What he's saying is whatever he attracts, he gonna take the time to see what the fuck is going on. Y'all can have a disagreement with him, but at least he letting y'all know what it is. She was like, a lot of these motherfuckers don't let people know nothing. And they act like they pro-black and all this other shit. And they can't stand sisters. They can't stand black folk. This was 20 years ago. So I was just like, yeah, man. And I've always had that mentality. Even people that saw me, I would say 10 years after that. I would say like 2013. People like, Warren, man, you I was like, man, I date whoever date me. And I was single at the time. I was like, whoever fuck with me, that's who I fuck with. Nigga, y'all not gonna change my mentality. I said, but it ain't gonna stop me from supporting whoever I need to support. Now let's fast forward to about 2015, 2016. That's when I was like, people need to be more concerned with, are you recycling your black dollars? Are you doing what you need to do? Motherfuckers love Booker T. Washington because Booker T. Washington was about his people. Now, Booker T. Washington, was very intelligent in how he moved. So was Frederick Douglass. You know what I mean? Frederick Douglass was very, very smart in how he moved. Maybe Dr. Umar Johnson doesn't agree with who he married, but Frederick Douglass, that didn't take away how he was about his people. Me personally, I've always been like that. I don't give a fuck who the fuck these motherfuckers date. What are you doing for the community, my nigga? Because these elderly white folk and dominant society people of all other racial groups besides foundational black Americans, they feel like that man who's saying, fuck niggas, kill niggas. That's not nothing new. That's old. And we need to understand what it is. Hey, man, that is my time. I got love for James Youngblood. I got love for David. This is a great conversation. It don't bother me. These conversations never bother me because I am who I am. And motherfuckers ain't gonna change that shit. And look, you know what I tell people when they like, oh, well, you should say that. And I say, okay, well, tell Tahuti Ma'ara different. Because, nigga, I spend a lot of bread with Tahuti Ma'ara. That's a natural herbalist. What you mean, Warren? Oh, tell Freedom Paper Company different. Spend money with them. Tell Dave from No Compromise. Spend money with him. Like, that's what I love about our people. We can agree to disagree, but I want our people to understand, let's come together for the common goal of replacing that system with a system of justice, meaning the person that gets the most help deserves the most constructive help. Meaning, let's focus on the situation at hand. I'm not saying that isn't a situation, because you do got a lot of brothers and sisters dating outside their race because they don't love themselves or they don't like themselves or they're just pissed off at their own race. That's not what you do. You're supposed to attract a person who fuck with you. Not just, well, I don't do that shit either. I can't stand when a nigga be like, I remember niggas be like, I don't fuck with them black bitches. Nah, nigga, don't say that around me. I love my black sisters. I got black siblings. So no, we don't do that. We have to learn how to keep this in context and learn how to read and study and understand what our ancestors was trying to teach us. You got this dude named Jeremiah Hamilton. Oh, he was running game with all them white people. He knew them white people was racist. They tried to lynch him so many times. And he had the vernacular and he had the mental fortitude to be like, you know what? Let me throw these people off my scent while I'm out here running game on them and beating them at their own stock market game. That's what we need to be more into, instead of just worried about what a motherfucker doing, because I can care less what Dr. Umar Johnson is doing. I just want him to get his school up. I can care less about what other people are doing. Get whatever business or business practice you have, let's just support it. That's what I'm saying. Now, if you want to have conversations on the side, we can talk about it. Look, I don't even feel like I have to be defending myself, in public sometimes when motherfuckers be trying to tell me. I just be looking at them and laughing because I be like, well, that's your lane, that's you, that's not me. Nigga, I do what I want to do. Ain't no nigga gonna tell me what the fuck I want to do. Nigga, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I want other black folk to do what they need to do, what they want to do. But you need to understand that anti-black racism, it's in all ages. I'm out. Guilty, nigga. Peace.